Welcome to episode 1 of the Ash Brothers podcast. I'm joined with my brother.
Welcome everyone. That's usually what that happens on this. So yeah, I think it's quite a nice thing for us because I think we're always sort of talking about real estate.
It's nice to have something.
So it's nice to just, because we do talk about a lot of different things. And I think that, like, I mean, to be honest, what's really been happening in the last couple of weeks, probably,
Apart from
I can see you've got a new set of teeth.
Oh yeah, in case you hadn't noticed.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I went to Istanbul.
Yeah.
Recommended by a friend, and then I love it. I've got a little bit of a lisp still, but that'll fade.
Small price. They look good.
They look good, didn't they? So
Yeah.
it was unbelievable. I had people telling me about horror stories about, oh, don't go to Turkey to do
I
this.
heard a lot of that, yeah.
Honestly, start to finish, they're so friendly, so outgoing.
Professional as well.
Oh, he's so thorough. The final day of fitting, I was in the chair biting down things to check my bite was all in alignment for about an hour or two.
Wow.
Redid my bottom row because they weren't exactly right. Pain, it's not too bad. I'm a massive wimp with teeth. Like the needles in the mouth makes me like go weird. Like it's horrible.
Yeah.
And it was like 4 or 5 out of 10 pain throughout the whole thing.
That's
Like
good.
it was so manageable. But didn't you? I know a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean,
haven't.
I'm not really bragging about mine. So
You actually got your.
What did you pay for yours? $3.5 grand.
3.5. Yeah.
$3.5 grand. Paid 12 for mine. In the UK.
So don't go Turkey. Stay in the UK.
Fucking shambles, mate. Absolute shambles.
When I told you what they did with me, and you were like, no, none of that happened with what I've got.
Basically, I'm not going to name the company, but I got half the money back. Top rack's okay, a little bit wonky and not what I asked for. Bottom rows.
Well, they're not bad. What it is, the comments you got are, did you whiten your teeth?
Yeah, they just to give everyone an idea of what the guy's done. He's not done anything I've asked him. He's not, I sent the photos, all that. Didn't show me what it was going to look like. He's then basically replaced what my actual teeth were with veneer versions of what they looked like in the first place.
Just whiter.
Slightly straighter and whiter.
Yeah.
Which isn't what you pay 12 grand for. And then I see you come back.
Long and short of it, where are you going the first week
So
of
I'm going to Turkey in Jan.
Booked his flight.
Yeah. Go on the 4th of Jan. And luckily they're doing a collaboration with me. You know, luckily social media pays, but you know, they're a good company. Dental Centre Turkey I'm doing it with, but
cool.
I saw a guy from our company, Nico. His looked phenomenal as well. And
we're going for a bit of a different look, aren't we? I think.
Oh yeah, I mean his are like super fake.
Mine have gone for, because I wanted to have the natural, really white look where they
mine
look
were
like
too natural, where people don't think I've had anything done.
You want the gum shield where it's like a block of white.
No. But like, but I do want them a lot better than what I've got.
Yeah.
And I was really disappointed. And I think that, like, I'm looking forward to getting it done. And I think that, like, to be honest, you know, it's an absolute disgrace that they charge me that. And
it's fucking joke dental costs in this country.
It is. And actually, I think, right, you know what, this myth with what you're saying about, like, oh yeah, it's you know, it's like horror stories that are in Turkey. The reason it's cheaper is that the economy's weaker in Turkey. So you were talking about when you like went out for dinner.
It's crazy. Yeah, there was 3 of us. We had shisha, starters, main dessert, and I picked up the bill for 150 quid for the 3 of us.
It's nuts. You only need one of you in the UK, and it's like. And, you know, and that's just because the economy's different.
Yeah.
So that is why it's cheaper. And the processes there are a lot better.
So thorough, I mean.
And when you're doing it they're doing it on a worldwide scale. Like the whole world.
Well, I was there. Turkey. People were flying over from, there was more Americans in Turkey where I was than any other nationality.
Nuts.
They fly over to get their teeth done.
That's a long old flight.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That is a long old flight.
So
when you think about that, you think like, well, that's not down to the fact Britain's better. I think they just charge you more.
No one flies to England to get their teeth done.
No, they don't.
But don't leave England because you're crazy.
I think there has definitely been this like myth of imperialism with England and with the UK that, oh, everything's better here. It's not.
It's not.
It's not. Like, you know, I was just dumbfounded with how that ended. And you know what was annoying was like, you look forward to something.
Yeah, you'd been talking about it for so long.
And then I was like, I'm finally getting it done. And I was happy to pay more just to make sure it was what I wanted.
I know, yeah.
And I ended up getting the reverse effect because there was some fucking cowboy doing it who promised me the earth and delivered on nothing. But here we are. So look, they're all right. Like, they're presentable.
They're good,
but they're like not what I wanted, basically,
no.
And it's disappointed. So anyway, that being well, that's the talk on teeth. Obviously, World Cup finals yesterday.
Unbelievable. That game was like... that game has been scripted by...
gods.
Producers. Hollywood producers.
Football gods and football producers. It was just...
I've heard that there were... I saw something this morning that there were cameras following Messi around on the day. And I think there's going to be a film documentary done. So I think they were getting that ready...
hoping he was going to... Yeah. I bet they were nervous at one point.
I know, yeah.
What a game. I mean, that was the most gripping game I've ever watched in my life. It had everything in it. The thing is the performance from Mbappe was one of the greatest performances ever in a World Cup final, and he didn't win it. Messi, it was written in the stars for him. It obviously... Do you think it puts a close to the debate?
Yeah, it does.
On the Ronaldo.
What for me has overshadowed me with his last 6 months of... Because Messi went through something similar at Barcelona when he had to go because of they fucked up their finances, and he went to PSG and it was a bit quiet for a year. Do you remember? And everyone was like, he's gone to France, career's shit now.
Yeah.
You had to dig deep there, whereas Ronaldo's dragged this thing on for so long, and everyone was waiting, even you, because you're so pro Ronaldo.
I love Ronaldo.
And you were like, Reis is set up perfectly for him to be the World Cup.
I was so...
He's going to show everyone.
That's what I said. Yeah. He's going to show Messi. He's going to show everyone. And then I felt really bad for him. I felt really, really bad for him because I think also it's just the one thing that he hasn't got going for him is he's just born 2 years later.
I know,
and he needed this tournament when he was 35.
Yeah.
Do you remember what he was doing at 35? He was unplayable.
Yeah.
He was at Madrid. And he was scoring every week. You imagine him going into a World Cup final on that
peak
form.
Performance, yeah.
He would have been the top boy. He would have done it. I think it was just that he born it, 2 years later.
The problem is 2 years later, he's extremely relying on his physique and his muscular. He trains obviously a lot and
looks amazing, doesn't he?
He looks great, but footballers. It's like when you look at boxers. You look at a muscly boxer and you think, oh, he looks good.
He should win.
Yeah,
and
never
then
happens. Fury
knocks him out.
belly in the face and knocks him out. And with Messi. He is 35, but his natural ability is a joke, isn't it?
It's disgusting. He's so talented, it's unbelievable. And they were actually saying, I saw on another podcast, that he might be the greatest sportsman ever. When you look at actually what his appearances, his assists, his goals, his stats are and what he's won and his accolades.
I think he's the best ever.
He's ahead of LeBron James.
He's the best ever.
In any sport. In any sport.
This is brilliant. I heard this as well. Apparently, it was rigged for Messi to win the World Cup.
That's nuts.
Who would have rigged that? Messi?
Let me tell you something. People, whenever someone does something good, someone will always go, "Oh yeah, that was rigged. Oh yeah, that was set up." Oh, shut up! What did you say earlier on the car on the way up here? You said, "Well,
oh, this is the same people that were saying England got cheated out of the France game."
Yeah.
Well, France got cheated out of the Argentina game. So the same people who are.
So why did they go back on the first cheat in the front? It's just stupid. It's just so dumb. And I think that, don't get me wrong, I think there are decisions that can be done better, but that's down to human error. That's what the beauty of the sport is. I think that even the England game, when you watch the England game, what annoys me the most, right? Yes, Harry Kane should not be missing penalties like that. That was one of the worst penalties I've ever seen in my life. And it's unforgivable. He shouldn't have took the penalty anyway. He's taken a penalty against his club goalie that he plays in training every week, who knows him. And the first penalty, you're probably quite confident on. The second one, you think, oh, he knows me.
Yeah,
he knows where I'm going.
Yeah.
All these things are going to be going on in your head. And they should have just let someone like Jude Bellingham, someone who's,
a bit confident,
nerves of steel, wants to go up, just bury it very, very quickly, and we'd have been level. And then it's a different game. But when you actually talk about how England actually played, yes, the ref made some bad decisions, but our 2 goals come from, our goal come from a penalty, and we didn't actually have any clear-cut chances.
Every time, I don't know what it is, but we always have this victim mindset.
Victim, yeah.
Victim mindset, like we are, the ref, this.
It wasn't there this
game. It wasn't. There's no victim mindset. And what's worse is we haven't even acknowledged what the problem was, which was Southgate by a country mile.
He's awful.
He's inherited the best squad that we're probably ever going to see in England.
People are giving Southgate credit for the squad. The squad picks itself.
Yeah.
That squad picks itself. A trained monkey could pick that squad. Yeah. That is not down to Southgate. Southgate tactically is inept.
Do you remember
he saw the game? Hold on. He saw the game slipping away, and 70 minutes, and he fucking stood there like a lemon and does nothing. And then at like 80-something minutes, he makes changes.
Sterling and Mount.
Sterling and Mount. Why does he always bring on Mount?
He gave Rashford 3-4 minutes. He scored 3 goals this World Cup.
I know.
I'm like,
why are you not bringing on Rashford and maybe Grealish?
Rashford and Grealish every time. And
I know that. The world knows that.
And he's there
every UK person knows that. Every English person knows that. But that stupid bastard doesn't know it.
Because he's relied on Sterling before. Bearing in mind, Sterling flew home to England that week after his house got robbed.
It's nuts.
And he brings him on. Because he's like, I said, my safe bet. Oh. But look, he was a shit manager before England.
Yes.
It's not like he was doing good at club level.
And a shit player.
And with Villa fans as well.
Yeah, and with Villa fans. He was rubbish for Villa. He missed a penalty for England. And he was a rubbish manager. Stop giving him credit. He fucked that World Cup.
And I know France didn't win, but you know what we always said about France? They play shit, but they fucking get the job done. And Didier Deschamps is a World Cup winner. Yeah. And I think he was a little bit all over the shop. He got, made a few bad decisions. Like subbing Giroud, I didn't think.
Yeah, I know, but to be fair, the players that he brought on, they were good, fucking well.
But what I'm saying is he's got that. Who do you want, Didier Deschamps or fucking Southgate, going to go, right, let's go win us a game?
Ballsy decisions. Big decisions.
That was a massive decision.
Executive decisions.
He subbed Giroud, who scored 4 goals in the World Cup at the time, subbed him before half-time.
That was nutty. And Giroud kicking the fucking drinks up in the air.
Southgate won't make a change when we've just got the game back to 1-1, and he's gone, right, Sterling, I know what Sterling does. Yeah, get one,
Southgate's
mate.
got no balls. No. Nothing.
He's a puppet for the fucking whatever.
I look at him, right, and I just think you're pathetic. Like, nothing about him.
No.
You just look at him and you think, I wouldn't trust you to boil an egg, mate.
You wouldn't want him managing your kids under 9s team.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be like, let me take it from here, mate. You don't know what you're doing. I'm going to move him here,
so
him
bad.
there. Like, because I know I'd do
and
a
I heard
better
yesterday
job
he's staying in the job.
Of course he's staying in the job.
Do you want to stay?
Everything has to be so... The thing with English football as well, everything has to be so prolonged and painful.
I know, yeah.
To get that change, you've got to go through 3 World Cups. I've got to have given up a third of my life before the change happens. Just change it now. It didn't work. It didn't work. Like, just change it.
Yeah,
He's useless. He didn't make changes. He's got world-class players on the bench and he didn't even bring them on.
That's a fucking joke.
Fucking twat. He's just a twat. That's the reality. But I think that, like, for me...
Messi, for closing it off now, I think Messi, best of all time, ahead of Maradona, Ronaldo.
I'm still with Ronaldo. It's just one of those things. But I think, like, for me, one of the things that the World Cup has done nicely is fill that annoying gap between the summer and Christmas. And, now we're going into Christmas. It's... So
you're going to go... Are you going to go, like, I know we've got our Christmas do. What are you just going to take your foot off the gas? Or are you going to have a couple, give you an excuse?
I'll have a few drinks tonight, I think.
In a club.
I still haven't even done my Christmas shopping. I only really like shopping for myself, but obviously
I think, we're not very good with the old present side of things. I mean, it stems from when we grew up. It was like Christmas Day, and Dad would be like, "Oh, it's Christmas. Run down with." Here's 200 quid, here's 200 quid.
Yeah, that's what he used to do. It's quite good. To spend it on Boxing Day.
Yeah, yeah.
I think, like, the thing for me as well is that, like, everything I want now is so fucking expensive that anyone buys me anything. It's a goodwill gesture. I mean, I'd say if anyone's buying me a present, just buy me a nice tie.
The thing is, I think they've run out of Versace black and gold T-shirts for me to buy you, so I don't know what else to get.
There's nothing else. I've cleared them out. There's nothing else. I've been in there. There's nothing.
I saw you a reward bag the other day outside.
They gave me a book, a display book to put on the coffee table.
Fucking brilliant.
Because I've bought so much. I bought like this Versace shirt for 1,200 quid.
Seems like a good deal.
Silk. And it's a lovely shirt.
To be fair, what you could.
I don't know where I'm gonna wear it.
Can't really wrap a car in a Christmas gift. So
yeah.
What's your car plans for You got any car plans for next year? Or
yeah, so I put a deposit down on basically Lamborghini are launching what is going to be the replacement.
Do you think you'll ever get another car other than a Lamborghini?
I love Lamborghinis. I wanted one as a kid, and they've got this car that's basically replacing the Aventador. So they're only doing a 2 or 3 year production line on it. I made a blind deposit.
It's not got a name then?
No. Spring it gets released. Don't know what the name is. I reckon from the drawings people have done and stuff.
This is great. You got they haven't got a name yet.
No.
And they've taken how much deposit off you?
£40,000.
And that seemed like a
blind. Don't even know when I'm getting it.
That's what branding does. How good is that? By the way, we've got a car coming out. Do you want it or not?
Oh yeah, and I can physically tell you I've never been more excited about anything in my life. Nothing. That is
it's fucking brilliant.
It keeps me warm inside knowing that's coming because, I'm not even going to get it till like the end of 2024, probably maybe 2025, and it's like it's going to be 1,000 brake horsepower. I mean, my Performante, which is that is dangerous. 636 or 626.
Yeah.
But it's rapid. So I mean, I'm talking it's so fast and loud that I could accelerate through a street and I'll set off car alarms. That's how loud it is. It's ridiculous. And this thing is 400 brake horsepower faster. It is going to be a rocket ship, and I've never been so excited about anything. And
what's that gonna
It's about 500 grand.
Is that after you've kind of
it's
put a cup holder in there?
470 grand starting. I reckon I'll be in for 600, 550, 600 because you add. I think that the coffee cup holder is close to £1,000.
Seems like.
And then they're not going to, you're going to...
You do like coffee, right?
I do, yeah.
You'll probably need two of these.
You'll need one of this, yeah. And then you got things like kind of the stitching, because I think they pretty much say you get the shell, and then the minute you want to put seats in it...
You want seats in there, don't you?
Yeah, it's like, that's another 10 grand. And of course you want to colour code it, and you want to make sure that it's,
carbon fibre trim on the...
Well, you do. You want it to be a weapon, don't you? And then, but it is... The craziest thing is that I was trying to figure out what I wanted to buy for over a year.
Yeah, you like almost trying to... We went looking, because obviously I'm going to, get a Ferrari early next year. And we went looking at that, and you were almost trying to force yourself to buy a G-Wagon. I remember you in there.
I sat there and I was doing nothing for me. I do like them, but
they're nice
I
feel
like a G-Wagon I'd get when I need one. It's like, I don't want one. And
it's like a sick functional car.
Yeah. I don't like functional cars. I like to almost strain my back getting into it and
He'll look at him.
Yeah, all the people filming me to try and get in and out of it. That's the sort of vibe I'm going for. And and I was looking at Rolls Royces, and then I was going to buy a Dawn.
Yeah, nice.
Because I love that, but they're discontinuing that end of next year, which means at the end of next year a Dawn's going to be old. Yeah. So is a Wraith. So that's for me why I didn't buy one, because it's like the new Range Rovers have come out, so now the old model Range Rover looks old, even though they might only be 2 years.
I know, yeah.
But the new ones just dwarf the old ones.
It looks so different to the last one.
They're so futuristic.
When they do the huge facelift on cars, that's when they go.
Because the Aventador they started building in 2011, so providing you kept it in good nick, your Aventador looked pretty good.
Yeah, they look
for 11 years. So if you bought an SV 2015, 2016, that looks solid with a private plate to 2022.
It's mad, isn't it?
And even the Aventador they've just released this year, the Ultima, which is like 429, 440 grand, is still the same shape. Obviously they've modelled it a bit different, but it's roughly the same shape. And
you weren't going to see 10 years apart from when you see one.
Funny enough, the one that I'm getting, they're only producing for 2 years or 3 years, but that's going to add it to its value.
Yeah.
Because then they go for the soft electric after that, and it turns into a bloody V6 or a V8. It's frightening. It makes me want to cry.
I hate electric cars.
I can't stand them. But so that's why I'm extremely excited about that one, because but cars have got to excite you. I mean, how excited must you be? To pick up, was it a Ferrari 488?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at getting. The Ferrari 488 early next year. I've already been to look at it. It's Rosso Red. The cream interior.
That's a good name, isn't it? Rosso Red.
Classic 5-spoke. The yellow calipers.
Do you know what a brilliant fact about Ferrari is? That if you modify a Ferrari, you go on a blacklist where you're not allowed to buy a Ferrari or Ferrari again. I promise you, that's how serious they are.
I know a few people that should go on.
Yeah, I know a few. So if you do a non-factory modification on a Ferrari, you're not allowed. Basically, you're not allowed to buy a Ferrari off them again.
Yeah, luckily I'm not gonna be putting any.
Why would you? That's why. But I can't stand people who do up like those supercars.
They're not there to be. It's not a Civic that needs a.
No.
That needs a new exhaust.
Civic Type R. No, leave it alone.
Yeah, just don't touch it. No one goes.
It doesn't need any more carbon. That's what the factory put on it. It's been done to perfection.
It's a supercar.
It's a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. You don't go up to like one of Van Gogh's paintings and get your pencil out. Oh, he could use a moustache on his face. No, you don't start.
It's a bit blurry.
That.
Let me rub that out.
No, you work a night. You work a job, or you're not going to be a 9 to 5, but you run a business. You sell property. Stick to selling property and let them deal with the cars. Like that's
Yeah, I've got no plans on them. But no, that's incredible. I mean, I did start off looking at the AMG GTRs, which are unbelievable.
Nice.
Do you know the only thing that put me off it is the key for my old AMG was exactly the same as this key, and I was like, I don't have the same fucking key for the
Ferrari
car.
keys are a dream. Yeah, I like Porsche keys as well.
Yeah, Porsche keys are
very nice.
I don't want to put
Lamborghini keys are shit.
Yeah,
because they're built by Audi.
Audi
so it's the same as the bloody R8.
Same as an A3.
Yeah, it is. Chloe's got a Q3, and my key looks the same as
you get confused when you go.
Hers is nice, but it's not.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm getting early next year, and then obviously when I go out to Dubai, I think I'll rent something quite nice out there when I'm there for a few weeks. I think it's quite easy to. Didn't you say you went past a garage? There's like 4 or 5 Bugattis next to each other.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, how often do you see a Bugatti in London? There's one
Bugatti
like one
garage.
In the shop. There's one in there.
Shop. Yeah.
There was. I think there's a road. I can't remember what the road is in Dubai, but it is the supercar road where all the car garages are. It's a main road, but you're going past them, and there's huge double, treble, quadruple story car garages with the window displays. And one of the car garages, there was like 4 Bugattis in a row. Even the new one that's like worth about 5 million was in there, and I just thought that's nuts. But I'll tell you now, mark my fucking words, I will pick one of them up in the next 2 years. But like it's just phenomenal that like the money out there is ridiculous.
It's funny because when we grew up in Milton Keynes, you'd see like a half decent car like an M3, and you'd be like, that's nice. And you go to
I used
London.
to aspire to have an M3.
Yeah, and then you go to London.
I had a friend who had one, and I was really jealous of him. I just didn't like him because he had it.
And then you didn't like it.
Yeah, I was really jealous. Like, and he'd like hoon around in it.
Yeah.
And I'd be there in my Fiat Punto.
Yeah, you had the
purple hairdresser's car. I think people were questioning which side of the battle.
And then you go to London and you start seeing all these you see loads of Ferraris, loads of Lamborghini. You know what I mean? And then I reckon over there you said like it's just supercar after supercar, like it's nothing, isn't it?
Oh yeah, like it is literally like it's nothing, and it's like, I mean, you'll see like Hurricane Evos, like just like they're Bentleys.
Another thing that's good is that obviously I know you love your watches and stuff. I think when you go in over in Dubai, you get you can't really wear much around in London, can you?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I've always held back on watch purchases because I won't wear them around London.
Don't want to have them.
I won't, I won't do it. And at least then I know that, because obviously when we do go to Dubai and spend some of the year out there, I can keep my watches out there and make a few nice purchases. Yeah. Definitely, my favourite is the Yachtmaster 2 Gold.
A stunning watch that is.
I like it because it's a sizable physical presence of a watch. It kind of.
That's stunning, beautiful.
I feel like it represents me personally as a watch.
It's very gold
as
me
well. In a watch. And then
I like the Tiffany Blue Oyster, the Rolex.
They're phenomenal.
Beautiful.
I think they like retailed at like, it was like 18 grand or 19 grand, but because they're so rare, they sell for like, I think it's about 60 or 70,000 pounds.
Yeah, fucking, they're beautiful.
But they are phenomenal. I know a few like dodgy jewelers, right? And what they do,
I've seen them,
and they like just put in a Tiffany blue dial on it, but it's not a Rolex dial.
Looks awful.
Yeah, the problem is if it's not a Rolex dial, it's not got the value. I also think that like a Cartier Dos Santos crusted out, like iced out, looks really, really cool. But again, you'll get your hand chopped off for that in London.
Yeah.
No
walking
point.
from your car to the restaurant or something.
It's not worth it. I know too many people it's happened to. It's just nuts, the society we live in now. That's how it is. But I think like, what I quite like is I always like pushing for things that I can't quite afford.
So no car and watch at this Christmas then?
Yeah, we were on Christmas presents, weren't we? So I'm not getting any of that. I think like I don't actually know what I want.
don't see the point in, like, I'm shit for it, like with presents and cards at Christmas. I
think a new suit, but again, you have to go there, get it tailored. It's not really something you open. I think, I mean, I could buy designer gear, but I end up buying stuff that I want anyway.
Do you think it's important that you do relax and have a drink, eat shit?
Yes.
You do think it's good to have that time around Christmas time where you just spend time with family and you're not like, right, I've got to get in the gym at this time. I've got to count my macros. I've got, or do you think you have a little bit of that and then still kind of stick to 70% of being?
I think it's massively important. So I was like talking to obviously like my kind of trainer guy, and you know, he was sort of asking for my check-ins and stuff, and I messaged him. I said, you know what, I'm not doing it. I said, I'll come back to you like after Christmas and New Year's is done, because I just need to relax. I've got my family around. There'll probably be a few times I'll have a couple of beers here and there. I'll be eating what I want. You know, I can't be doing check-ins all the time and counting my food and my macros. I know I'm not going to get balloon that big. Hopefully not. I have done in the past, but like, you know, over like a week. So I think you just got to
just do what you want to do.
Live your life.
Yeah. Do what feels right.
I've been in environments that are like social environments, and someone who's super into their fitness, and then they fucking sat on a seat on their own eating like chicken and rice out of Tupperware. It's like, look, I get it, but like if you're in competition and stuff, but it's not an enjoyable life, is it? I think you can do everything, get into great shape without leading a life like that.
We saw them, Mr. Universe, Mr. Olympia, wasn't it? Was that yesterday, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's phenomenal, some of them.
And I understand if you're like at that level doing it, but like you say, around Christmas time, I think it's normal to kind of want to go, I want a Peroni.
That Seabum guy is just insane. Like, his physique is unbelievable, but the work it must take.
Well, I watched a video on him actually, and his missus was saying, I want to quit. He's been pushed to like going, like not recently, like through his journey. Said he's come back. I can't do this anymore. Like, I need
the
to
strain it must put on him.
I'm going to quit, and he's like,
yeah,
one of the arguably the most famous bodybuilders at the minute.
Yeah, I think he's more famous than even the main Olympic.
That's
guys.
what I mean. He's a very
he's the ultimate classic physique.
Yeah.
I think he most represents like the sort of
Arnold
70s
era.
and 80s Arnold era with a bit more grainy sort of rippedness about his physique.
But listening to her, she was like, he'd be like in tears, crying.
Well, they're pushing themselves to limits, aren't they?
And
it's an extreme sport.
Yeah, and it's so unrewarding for those that fall short.
Well, you think, like, I think it was the top Mr. Olympia, that's once a year that happens, and number one place got 400 grand. That's not that much money. 400 grand, that's his one thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, he'll get sponsorships and all that, but he's probably earning, like, I reckon 600 grand a year, 500.
Well, the sponsorships, because we've got friends that have done it before in the past. You're getting free supplements and some free gym clothes.
At that level, but
even at that level, might be getting more.
Yeah, but how much money are they actually paying him for sponsorships? Because
this is what I mean. If you look at a lot of, like let's say Gymshark, for example, they don't have one flagship model.
No.
They'd rather give it to hundreds of people with 10 and 15,000 followers or 20,000 followers because they can just get away with giving free merchandise and it's going to go out to such a broader scale.
Yeah.
They don't have one Gymshark.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
No, they don't. No, it's not cost effective for them. I think it's the same for. There's not massive margins in the bodybuilding clothing.
Well, I think the problem is which will always be the problem with bodybuilding is that it's not a drug-free sport. So that means it's never going to be on Sky Sports. It's never going to be on BBC. It's never going to be on ITV.
Just on that topic, is that what was that guy with a big beard and who claims that he just
Liver King.
And obviously his emails got leaked.
Anyone who thought he is not on gear is absolutely insane.
So going on to The Rock, who is was he like 45? Like, and they say a lot of people say
to be natty.
Well, no, but no one. They're saying he's got a due diligence to come out and tell people because he's such a big public figure.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think he's it's his
to
business.
People that are competent and we know, looking at him, you cannot physically look like that without PEDs.
And I think that like one of the things that people don't understand is that like with that subject is like if somebody, I don't know, say for example like you got a 50-year-old man and can't get an erection anymore or whatever, they'll go to his doctors, they'll put him on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. So if a guy or decides to do that on their own accord, okay, they're probably to put in a bit more. But reality is, if someone like The Rock, his genetics will come into play because his testosterone levels are elevated. He'll be eating, drinking, everything healthy, and his body will react better. Now, elevated testosterone means that, you know, you're more effectively of a man, effectively. So, you know,
it starts to dip after you're 25 years old, doesn't it?
Yeah,
your testosterone starts to dip.
It does.
So from 25 to 40, you're just coming to an end of your testosterone levels.
So, I mean, have you not seen like the footage of like Jeff Bezos? And he's clearly, I think Joe Rogan said in his podcast, he's clearly doing like testosterone replacement therapy now. And he looks jacked. Like, Joe Rogan's like, have you seen this guy? He's jacked. And it's like, you see him on this boat with this like young model. And he's like living the time of his life. And he's got muscles, he's got pecs, he's got, you know, and he was this skinny little weasel.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just one of those things. Like, it's the inconvenient truth. It's the elephant in the room. But, you know, the human body cannot look like how the Liver King or the Rock or anyone looks like that. Naturally, it's not physically possible. No. And, you know, that's just how it is. It's an inconvenient truth, but it is what it is.
And I think with, like, even, like, we look at, like, you know, the Tate brothers, and he's just like, your body, I think, is a representation of the choices and your discipline in your life. Everyone loves shit for McDonald's. Everyone would love to eat whatever they wanted to all the time. And having that discipline where people will look at you, humans make a judgment on how you look. If you think that you could have the best salesman in the company, if he doesn't, you know, scruffy, doesn't look after himself, extremely overweight, you probably know, and he's got no discipline when it comes to his dietary choices. So one of your pillars at that stage of your life is going to break and fall down. And I think it's important to kind of, you know, smash your fitness, look after yourself. But like you say, if you do want to relax over Christmas, you think it's okay to not feel guilty then? Is that what you're saying?
I think you can earn it as well.
Yeah,
like, you know,
true.
You know,
well, look at our journey. You've lost, what, 11 kilos? I've lost like 9.5.
Put 3 of them back on, but no, yeah. And like that, you know, I've earned my break. And so when I was saying to like my fitness coach, I was like, look, I just need some time off, because I went on to be fair, I had time off in Dubai, and now I'm having more.
Need more time off.
But like, I'm gonna come back into it in the new year extremely strong.
It resets you, doesn't it, when you do have that relaxed break? Because you'll be like, I want to eat this, I want to eat that, and then it's kind of like, you know what? Because there's times even with me, I thought that if I would have been a little bit more strict this year, because that's how my brain works. If I was just a little bit more strict with drinking, going to this party, staying up till 6 in the morning, doing this, doing that. If I did that 5, 6 less times, then my body would probably be a little bit better than where it is now. But I suppose you can't really.
It's fun though, isn't it?
Yeah, nothing beats it, mate.
I mean,
when I come off the bandwagon out, I've got no off switch. It's kind of like
you're frightening. When we was networking with those guys the other day in the Ned, 1 minute you were absolutely fine, next minute you were smashed, and it happened in the flick of a switch, and I just couldn't believe that how quickly it was a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
1 minute I'm having a really normal conversation with you, the next minute you're all over the place, and not that bad, but and I was just like, you know,
he's done now.
He's done. Yeah. But it is quite funny, isn't it?
Well, there's no good story starts with, do you remember when we were both sober and drinking water? It's like, do you remember? No, and you was fucked and you was whatever, like, and it is fun to do that, and I think what I've learned a lot this year is recognising when I come off the strict frequency chart, or like when I'm operating in a good area. I think at the start of the year, I might have lasted about 4 weeks in that bad zone. Now it's a week or two where I'm like, right, I've had a bit of shit happen to me. I've gone to a few many parties and drinks or restaurants or dates, whatever it is, where I drink more, and then I'm kind of like, right, stop this now, get back in check. I think Christmas is a great time for that, to kind of
You've been working hard on the build up to Christmas, and I think you've had a few days off now, and then it's like you just got to be ready to hit the new year running. You know what I don't ever like doing is waiting to start my actions when the new year starts. It needs to.
Are you a big advocate on like New Year's resolutions and stuff, or what do you think?
I think anything that makes you change is a good idea. I don't think that you should. If someone says my New Year's resolution is to get fit, don't mug that person off because they're trying to do something. However, when they say my New Year's resolution is, where people fail is there isn't a support or a structure to make sure that it's implemented.
It's just an
I'm
idea.
going to do it, and they do it for 2 weeks, and then they stop. And the reason they stop is because, for example, with us when we were like training in fitness and stuff, we had pretty much, you know, that whole bro science knowledge of like, you know, you can eat at Five Guys and go to the gym and all that sort of stuff. And we realised that our diets were so far out, our calorie counting was so far out, our macros were so far out that we were having these great gym sessions. Our bodies weren't changing, fatter. And my belly was just getting bigger and bigger.
It's so gradual, just getting gradually fatter.
There was no knowledge, and that was down to knowledge. So when you go when someone who's got no knowledge of getting fit and healthy and strong and muscular, whatever you want to call it, says my New Year's resolution is to get fit and healthy, that is a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for failure.
It's a recipe for failure because so what would you say? Would it be like a structure, or would you go and invest some money on someone?
Invest money. Get a personal coach, get a fitness coach, even an online coach. They do it for like a few £100 a month, and they will talk about your train. They'll get your training plan done. They'll tell you how and what to do with your food. They'll do weekly check-ins, which make you accountable. That's a big part of it. I actually pay for the weekly check-ins more.
I think you said the accountability is what you pay for, and it's when people are sat here and they'll go, "I'm not paying £200 a month for that," but you'll go for a Coldplay concert where you're sitting there drinking and singing songs.
You phone out like a zombie
for £80 a ticket. You're taking you and your miss. You'll pay your £200 there, won't you? People won't pay the £200 to invest in themselves until they have a heart attack, until they're so fat that they're in size 40 jeans and the penny's dropped.
Don't bring me into this.
We've moved on from you. So New Year's resolutions are important when you've got like an actual structure to it.
Oh, I totally agree. I think that if you're going into the New Year's and you think, I'm not happy with how I look, I'm not happy with my physical health or whatever, speak to someone who's an expert at it. I think one of the things we speak about on a lot of different things is about mastery, and, there are masters in this industry. Pick someone who's got regular success rates in that area of kind of what you're trying to achieve. Like if you want to be an expert in real estate, go and speak to an expert in real estate and they'll show you how to do it. Don't try and figure it out on your own. Just like if you need to get fit and healthy, if you've got to shift 10 kilograms, that's a pretty big task. You ever picked up a 10-kilo dumbbell? Try shifting that off your midsection.
You had to spot me one time though, didn't you?
Yeah. My left shoulder won't allow me to now.
But I think
find someone who knows how to do it, and then for that, bit of money, stop going to the pub, stop doing all the stuff that's getting in your way that you're spending money on.
Do you know what I hate the mindset of it? I've just come to my head now is that when I grew up, it was always like, I can do it.
Yeah.
I can do it. Or you can do. I used to be a plumber. You can fit a boiler, so you can hang a door.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I'm shit at hanging doors. So me hanging that one door is going to take me 4 hours.
Yeah.
And we've got this a lot of people. It took me actually a long time to snap out of it. Whereas to go, I don't want to do everything. I want to pay someone who's an expert in that. And what we struggle as men, as women, is to go to accept where you're at and go, right, that £300 is going to my PT and my healthy eating and not eating out.
Yeah.
Because you think that if I go on the treadmill, I'll be able to lose weight. And
the problem is like, you can train, right? You can train on like a cross train or a treadmill for about 30 minutes and you'll burn about 150 to 200 calories. Now go and look on any meals that you, just to give you an idea of calorie, not for you, but for anyone who's listening, to give you an idea of like calorie counting and macros. So basically you need to put yourself in a calorie deficit. For anyone who needs this advice, is that if you maintain your weight at 2,500 calories or 3,000 calories or whatever it is, you need to be consuming 2,000 a day. Your protein needs to be really high, and you'll get that with a fitness expert or whatever. But basically, there's a combination of it all where your calories are going to be in 500 to 1,000 deficit every day, with you doing exercise to push that deficit lower, so another 200 calories burned as well, which make it 700 or whatever. And then you do that over the course of 3 months, you'll lose 10 kilos or 6 kilos.
Well, even if you don't have the money for the PT, the self-development, which we're massive on, go and read what is calorie deficit?
Yeah, put in a calorie deficit on YouTube.
How do I understand? Because I didn't even know what a macro was until we got this PT. I didn't understand what it was. And getting the knowledge to go, right, I can't actually afford this now, but to go, let me do a bit of research on YouTube, because it's all there.
Find an expert.
Right.
Yeah.
I eat this a day. Let me track my calories. So I usually have one Five Guys, one Subway, and a McDonald's, right? Well, I'm eating 7,000 calories a day, and I'm 110 kilos. So, right, how do I... And it's a very easy way to understand the system yourself if you can't afford to go and get a PT now. To go,
every answer for every question's on YouTube, and I think when anyone ever asks me how do I do this, I just think, have you even put it onto YouTube? Because there is a video that will tell you exactly how to do it. And I'm talking literally, if you go how to change a plug. There'll be someone who's done a video for 1 minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes.
That's how you started your electricity company, wasn't it?
That was exactly it, yeah. And literally, they'll show you how to do it. And that's it. Like, there's
it's actually brilliant, because I remember I kept doing my tyres, and you were like, your tyres look shit.
Yeah,
and I was
hate a shit tyre.
And I was like, and I was like, how do I do a half wind? And I literally had the phone up there, and this guy, I watched it for 10 minutes, now I can do a tyre fine.
Yeah, your tyres look good now.
And but I was like, I watched a YouTube video on it. It's like, it's there. Knowledge is there. We were saying
that when we were watching the football pundits, all their tyres are awful. Their tyres are always so bad.
There's a gap between the button and...
Yeah, they don't do it up properly.
And it's like
what amazes me is the production team let them go on there like that.
Like Gary Lineker on there with scuffed
white trainers.
Sour Gary Lineker was on there.
Yeah, he's a bitter man,
He's so bitter.
He's a bitter man. What did he say? He said like,
when
it was a shame that they covered up Messi in what is like, it's... seen as like a really high royalty type thing. When they put that robe on you, it's for princes and stuff, right? And they've given him that, which is like an honour in that country, which is where the World Cup's held. So it's quite, nice that they're commemorating that. And he's gone, it's a shame they had to cover his Argentina shirt up with that. Oh well, he managed to wriggle away as if this guy's some weird, like, this guy is like one of the most powerful men in the world. Yeah, in the world. And
apparently they're not even worth billions. These guys are worth trillions.
Yeah. And he's sharing one of the biggest moments in football, or the biggest moment in football. It's iconic, and he's done. And Messi hit that iconic moment in Qatar at the World Cup. So why not share a bit of their culture in that moment? What the hell is wrong with that?
He's been so bitter from the first day. They wouldn't even show the ceremony.
They didn't even show the ceremony.
They didn't even show the final ceremony. Apparently on ITV, there was like singers and dancers and the whole big thing, and on BBC they didn't show it. Is the boycotting it? Like, is it?
Oh, he's such an arse, Gary Lineker is. I used to quite like him.
Yeah, up until this World Cup.
I absolutely can't stand him. And I, if anyone likes that guy, you need to have a real
good look at some of the stuff he actually says. The tongue-in-cheek
really
comments.
Racist.
Tongue-in-cheek
comments. I don't like to throw that word around, but it's the dismissive imperialism, the way he's negating an entire culture. As if like they just covered him up in a bed sheet or something. This is like an honorary thing they're doing for him, and it's a really nice gesture. And it's like, just let it happen. Qatar was a brilliant World Cup. It was an amazing World Cup.
You spoke to a lot of fans when you was out there, and they said it was brilliant.
Oh yeah, I spoke to, when I was in Dubai, there's a few English people who travelled back, and they were like in the pub in the hotel. I was at the Jumeirah Beach, and like they were watching a few of the World Cup games, and they said, don't listen to the media. It's absolutely unbelievable. They said it's unbelievable. And another thing to finish on is there wasn't one arrest from the UK or Welsh fans.
First ever
World Cup. Amazing. So
brilliant.
That tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, I think that's a nice few little bits of discussion points there, and I'm gonna go and get my teeth done.
Yeah. See you with a better smile next time.
Yeah, definitely. Nice one, bro.